Thanks for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. I've been going through my Facebook a little more often, just trying to see what's out there. I've been getting a lot of new friend requests from people I have no idea who they are. It might be from my podcast or people, or it could just be scammers or spammers or who knows what it is. But I'm always getting these. I turn my notifications off on my phone so I don't get notified every time I get a new friend request. I literally probably have 150 requests sitting there, and I have no idea who any of these people are. I look at them and they're not related to, or they're not connected to anybody I know. But what I do love about Facebook is that it shows you these memories that you have had in the past. And, I've had Facebook now. I think I got Facebook when I lived in Miami when it first came out. So that was 2000. So probably 18, 20 years ago, I guess I got Facebook whenever it came out. I remember I was on MySpace at first, and then Facebook came out, and Andrew's like, oh, we got to go to Facebook, because we had an office in our house in Miami that we both shared. I mean, I wasn't working from home at the time, but we both had our own desk because Andrew was working at home. And I'm like, I'm not moving over to Facebook. What does that even mean? So, of course, I ended up doing it, and then MySpace went away. But I love the whole, you have a memory about this, and then it brings something up that happened 15 years ago, and, your pictures and about where you were. And I've lived a lot of places and done a lot of traveling, so it's kind of just fun to kind of see that. What's interesting is that whenever you unfriend somebody, those memories don't come up anymore, which I kind of love that too. But what I thought about when I was looking this week at some of these memories that I have, because it's the holiday time, and you do a lot of things with friends and family during holiday times, and so of course a lot more memories have come up. And one of the things that I just kind of love is just seeing these memories about where I was and what I was doing. And I started thinking about wouldn't it have been awesome if I would have had Facebook or Instagram or even MySpace back whenever I was in college. It's a blessing and a curse to have it then, because I wouldn't want to document all the things that I was doing in college and who I was in college, because I don't know, I was just out 7 nights a week living in South Beach, and I probably don't need that videoed and put out there. So it's better. But the reason why I do wish is because there's so many people when I was living in South Beach, and I don't know why I've been thinking about this more, but there's so many people that I wish I knew where they were. I knew their first name, and I don't know. There's a guy named Brian and a guy named Alex. And Alex and I don't want to say we dated, but we liked each other. And I lived in this apartment a big apartment called Morton Towers. It's no longer there. It was torn down, and a new big, huge high-rise was built there. But Morton Towers, there was one building, a south building and a north building. I lived in the south building, and Alex lived in the north building. And I'm not even sure how we met. We probably met at this bar called Twist in Miami, which is where everybody ended up at the end of the night. And he was this tall guy. He wasn't Cuban. He might have been Argentinian. No, he wasn't Argentinian. I don't know, but he was so beautiful, and I just really liked him a lot. And I wish I knew his last name, because I would love to just reach out to him and see where he is and see what he looks like now. And my friend Brian, who lived in South Beach, he was so nice and he was amazing. And every time I seen him out, I had his phone number back then, but did I have a cell phone back then? No. Yes, I did have a cell phone. Or did I? I don't know. What did you have in the 90s? Probably the big block cell phone, if I had one. Oh, I did have a cell phone. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but um, there's all these memories that I wish that I was able to document with video, with with an iPhone back then, or taking pictures and things like that. But I had a like 35 millimeter camera and a video camera that I'd carry around with me sometimes, and so I have a lot of those memories. But I when I first, or right before I moved to New York, me and an old friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but we used to go to New York maybe twice a year, and we would go to all the clubs. And New York used to have this huge, huge club scene where it was like these warehouses, or I mean, there was a club called the Tunnel that I loved, and then the Roxy. I mean, when we were living in Miami and we would go there, it just we were young, cute, wearing, I don't know, a shirt showing your belly button ring, and big platform shoes, and we were typical club kids, and we would get in for free even though we weren't from New York, and we would get free drinks almost the whole night from a bartender. You had to pick the right bartender who thought you were cute, and it was amazing, and I wish I could go back for just 1 week and just do that life for a week. I mean, I would have to I mean, I'm ready for bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock now, and back then, you wouldn't go out to about 11:30, 12, maybe 1 o'clock. So, and then you would have after hours that started at 5. So, a completely, completely different lifestyle than I'm than I'm living now. Um, but my guest today is a guy that used to DJ and do promotions for these clubs I would go to in New York, and it was so amazing to kind of like catch up with somebody that was doing this stuff. I mean, the Tunnel was so amazing. The Tunnel was a great club, played house music, and the interesting thing was is that it wasn't all gay, but whenever you walked in, there was this like I think it was an old train tunnels or train station or something. There's a story behind it with trains. It might have been old train tunnels or something. And there was this, and that's why it was called the Tunnel. But there was a side room when you kind of first walked in, and only certain people could get in. And I'm not putting myself up on a pedestal, but because I was a club kid and dressed in blue vinyl pants, or I don't know, black latex pants, and I had 4 earrings in each ear and rosaries and this satin. I can't even believe I wore this. A satin backpack with a big glitter heart on it, and oh god, I think I even had a pacifier in my mouth at one point. Like I can't even believe that's who I was, but that's who I was. And you could get into this side room, and the side room was like a private room where maybe like 40 people at the most were in, and it was like free drinks, and there was always like a fabulous drag queen that was back there. And anyway, this guest today, his name is Tommy. We kind of go back and talk about the Tunnel and the Roxy and the Palladium, and those clubs that he worked at. And his story is really interesting. He was this promoter, and he was going to take over the Meadowlands during promotions, and basically Live Nation came in and took all this away from him. And it's a really interesting story, and he's been in this court battle with Live Nation for 15 years and will not settle with them. And I loved his story, and I love catching up with him. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. And if you were back in those club days in New York when I was, maybe we'll spark some memories for you as well. So enjoy the episode. Hi, thanks for joining me in the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. Today I have a DJ who is well known in the New Jersey, New York area. His name is Tommy D. So welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So you built your name in the New York, New Jersey area. You were a DJ. Tell me a little bit about like where you started and how you got started, because you were at some pretty big places.
Yeah, I was actually a nightclub promoter. I started off from nothing. I ended up how I got into the business. I ended up living on my own at a young age, around 16 years old,
Oh, wow.
and I rented houses. And to pay for those houses, it was kind of an accident. I ended up throwing underground house parties,
Oh,
packed houses out with hundreds of people,
yeah.
charged people for a keg of beer, or, for a cup of beer,
Yeah.
and that's how I paid my bills. And that's actually how I ended up getting into the entertainment promotion business.
Yeah, and then what did you do? How did you kind of get, hooked up with some of the bigger places where you actually started kind of DJing and promoting?
Yeah, so I saw that like I was bringing people to New York City, like iconic clubs like the Tunnel, the
Yeah,
Limelight back in the day,
love those
but I was
too.
only such good times.
Yeah,
Carbon, I was running just guest lists, like because I was coming in with like 200 people, and then I was like, maybe they can pay me, and I get like $1 a head, $2 a
yeah,
head, and then I was like, you know what? I've always loved music. Maybe I can turn this into a business, and then I was like, you know what? I can do this. I want to make this into a club empire. So I
yeah.
started working really hard to promote my own first individual party. And it was back like in 96, 97, working 20 hours a day. I got a Wednesday night because nobody went out and partied Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
um, and I packed that with a lot of hard work with me and a team, about one at the time. Packed that first club out with around 1,500 people.
Wow.
After that, with a lot of hard work and my team's hard work over years, we really grew to the top. I promoted clubs between the Sound Factory in New York City to down the Jersey Shore, to Club Karma.
Mhm.
Opened my own nightclub. With Did almost every major celebrity, but this was a lot of hard work, and became one of the pioneers of EDM. It was called house music before it was
Yeah,
not cool, EDM.
yeah, yeah.
For over 15 years, doing every major celebrity from the Kardashians, Paris Hilton, Snoop Dogg, you pretty much name it, DJ Tiesto. And that's how my career evolved, just with a lot of hard work and a dream.
And so were you did you like DJing more, or did you like the promotion part more?
DJing, I only really did more for fun.
Yeah,
It was on the side. It was really the promotion part. I built DJs, which I really enjoyed. I
yeah.
love music, so I really love building DJs, working with them on the production, and building them in the industry, and seeing them start off like I was as a nobody, and then grow up,
Yeah.
grow through the industry to high levels.
You know what's crazy to me? Like some of these DJs that whenever I was like in the 90s living in New York and I look them up now on Instagram or whatever, they're like in their 70s now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even believe, it's crazy how time has like flown by because I still would think that they were in their, their 30s or 40s and they're, like Junior Vasquez, for example. Like I think
Yeah,
he's early 70s now or something. So it's kind of crazy.
Junior back from the Sound Factory days, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you experienced the good times.
Oh, I experienced the tunnel was amazing. I used to love, love, love the tunnel and Roxy and, yeah, there was all these, great clubs when I lived in New York. I don't think there's any clubs like that anymore in New York City. I don't think they can afford the space anymore.
No, Live Nation wiped out the club industry, so that's why there's no more clubs in New York, many in New York City.
Yeah, so you weren't just promoting parties, you were kind of building, like, these safe spaces for people and people, who wanted to come and just have a good time, right? And that was kind of your vibe. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, I was sometimes running 5 events a night, up
Wow.
to 10,000 people between New York, New Jersey, Miami. Huge into theme parties, all the creativity that independent promoters had back in the day.
Mm.
You went to, I know for with you, Zach, you went to those city clubs. You saw the creativity, you saw
Oh,
those
yeah.
theme parties that Richard Grant from the Sound Factory, which turned into Jonathan Peters from Junior Vasquez. He actually taught me so much in the industry on the theme parties,
Yeah.
and I quote him in a lot of magazines from back in the day because it really helped me actually learn how to do that on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I grew up in Miami, so I was in college in Miami, and just the club scene in Miami was pretty amazing, but now it's, like, off the charts, it's completely different, so I was there when there was this Salvation, it had a couple, probably 1,000 people there when I was going there, but there was it was just kinda crazy, how much it's grown, and they have these I don't even know what the cost to even get into these clubs are because 'cause I'm not going to them anymore, but it was so different back then, and I miss those days. I wish I could go back for a week and be back into that life for a week. So, um, did you like working with the kind of high profile people that you were working with? Like when you're working with Snoop Dogg or the Kardashians, was that fun to you, or you were just like just kind of another client in a way?
So most of them, to be realistic, I never really was like in that world of like, oh my God, I'm with the celebrity. I
Mhm.
didn't care.
Yeah,
Where like everybody else, like, oh my God, let me chill with Paris Hilton. Let me chill with this one. I could care less.
yeah.
But some of them were cool, you know? I became friends with like Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. We
Mhm.
ended up becoming cool. Joel Santana up out of New Jersey, Fabulous, became cool with these guys. So there's some I became friends with. The other ones that were just there was just part of the business, part of the show, part of the entertainment. I never was celebrity struck in my life.
Yeah, now Paris is a huge DJ now, so it's kinda crazy like that. You see her at all these shows now,
Yeah,
doing her.
I did her first event in New Jersey.
Oh, you
So
did? That's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So in 2011, you kind of went and you organized what's been the largest EDM festival on the East Coast. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so in the club industry for 15 years of hard work, I got to the top. I'd won the number one sound system in the world. I was featured in major publications that like Club Systems, which
Mhm,
basically would be like winning an Oscar in different, fields. So I plateaued. And my next step up was where I saw it at least was to move to the festival industry.
mhm.
And you come from the industry, knowing back in the day, but most of the viewers won't.
Yeah.
House music was underground.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was not mainstream. I was one of the pioneers of this, of the New York, New Jersey scene for, over 15 years. I saw that it was gonna go mainstream.
yeah,
So I signed a deal with the State Fair Meadowlands. Anybody not familiar with that? It's the largest fair in the East Coast, New York
yeah.
and New Jersey. 500,000 attendees, massive amount of rides. They built a massive concert space. It's a brand new stadium, home to the Jets and Giants that
Mhm.
year. $2 billion. They just built
Wow.
it. Signed a 10-year deal to promote all concerts, all events, for over 10 years. But my start off was EDM. I caught house music,
Yeah.
but it was EDM, and I was in the process and was happening, producing the largest EDM festival ever in the East Coast. Until a company, Live Nation Entertainment, found out about it and wiped it out.
So you were doing I mean, Meadowlands is huge. I think I've seen Madonna at the Meadowlands, like, it's huge. And so you had this kinda 10-year deal signed with them, and then Live Nation came in and basically shut it down?
Yeah, Live Nation came in on a multi-pronged attack. And just so you know, I didn't know, people don't really get this these days, but I didn't know who Live Nation was. I wasn't into rock and roll. They did rock and roll back then.
I didn't know who they were back then either.
Cool, good. I got one person. I'm like,
Yeah,
I love it. So a lot of people get confused with that. So they did rock and roll. They were not in this house ED underground scene
yeah.
that we were in. So 15 years of all the business, the success I did, I never ran into him once. But because it was going mainstream, that's why Live Nation got involved. So Live Nation came on a multi-pronged attack. They attacked the owner of the State Fair Meadowlands. His name was Al Dorso, a really cool guy. Told him, kick me out. They went to his landlord, the New Jersey Sports Authority that owns the Meadowlands,
Yeah.
badmouthed me to the powers that be, kicked them out. This is our space. This is Live Nation space.
Wow.
Told them that they would block all my talent for performing for me, and they would prevent any of the artists, DJs like Tiesto, from performing worldwide if they performed in my event, and block all my ticketing at the Meadowlands unless I were to partner with them.
And what was that gonna look like?
Well, I didn't even know who they were, so the partnering I had no idea about until I took a meeting, because the owner of the State Fair Meadowlands, Al Dorso, cool guy, he said, look, Live Nation's blocking your whole entire festival.
Yeah.
He was panicking. Like, I've never seen, the guy was so laid back and chill. He's panicking, going crazy. He's like, they're pressuring me. They're going to stop my fence line. I'm not even going to be able to have my it was wild. So I met with the Live Nation executives, the two top executives, the president of Live Nation New York City, Jason Miller, the VP of talent, John D. Esposito, known as John D.
Mhm.
I mean, Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino claims that this is their largest market in the United States. I met with them. They came in. Came in aggressive like pit bulls. attacking, saying, look, I was trying to give them like a kid's show, a rock and roll, like just like, hey, do this and leave me alone. I'll let you
Yeah.
do one of these. This is my spot. And they came in, we will kick you out of the contract. We're blocking your talent from the William Morris agency, which is the biggest house
Yeah.
agency where I get my talent at the time.
Yeah.
That's our exclusive agency. We're blocking Tiesto worldwide. We're going to kick you the fuck out through the sports authority. We're going to block. They just were going wild. I tried defending us a little bit. What they said was they wanted me to kick out my two partners, John DiMatteo and Vito Bruno. And Vito Bruno was one of the legendary people in the business. I only had a handshake deal with these guys. I could have just kicked them out.
Yeah.
They said, kick them out. We'll fund 50% of your festival. It will happen, and we'll let you get talent. We won't block it. I told them I wouldn't kick my partners out because I learned from my dad. I never break my word. I learned that something. My dad passed away when I was young, but it was something I learned from him. You got it. You make a deal. Your word is bond.
Yeah.
So I refused to kick them out. Then they said, well, we're going to block your tickets from Ticketmaster. And I was like, dude, how are you going to block my tickets from Ticketmaster? I do business with Ticketmaster. And they said, we own them. I thought they were like bullshitting me. After I got out a simple Google search, I saw Live Nation on Ticketmaster. So
Yeah.
I kind of knew I was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. And so you basically took them to court, right? And you're still fighting this, and it's 15 years later. Is that accurate?
Yeah, Live Nation got me wiped out of my whole entire contract. I'll prove it at trial. Got me knocked out of the whole entire industry, and they blacklisted me. I believe made a lesson out of me, because their CEO, Michael Rapino, at the time, he probably put in papers, his fear were lesser known organizations were going to lock up EDM's properties before Live Nation did, because they were behind the 8 ball and I was ahead of the game, and either acquire or hire them. I refused that. So they defamed me through the industry and got me blacklisted, and I got wiped out, lost my whole entire career. And yes, I've been in a lawsuit with them now it's been 15 years.
But the model that Live Nation have actually doesn't just hurt you as a promoter or an organizer. It's hurting kind of the artists themselves and the venues, right, as well. And that's also taking away from the fans that are wanting to see or be a part of the festival or the music, right? I mean, they're kind of like blocking, they're controlling it all in a way, and as a monopoly almost, it feels.
Yeah, monopoly is a nice word. I call it a criminal enterprise, I allege. Yeah, they're ruining the whole entire industry. They wiped out the independent promoters. Artist development is gone. You don't see an artist being developed. They pick and choose. The venues are at the mercy of Live Nation. I have an expert report that shows how Live Nation controls what I allege to be a criminal enterprise, controlling the venues, controlling the artists, and controlling the independent promoters with the illegal kickback scheme that they get, inflating the cost of goods, where the promoter doesn't, and the co-promoter doesn't share, the artist doesn't share. Live Nation just gets it all in the back end. And these venues don't want to do these kickbacks. You kick this money to them for the reason, let's say rent, security.
Yeah.
I allege it's fraudulent on $1 billion level, but they're forced to, because they'll have no shows in their stadium. The artists, they don't know about it, but the artists have no choice to take what Live Nation says, because if you don't take it, no show for you, you're done.
Yeah.
Independent promoter, don't even say a word, a peep, because you're not going to be in the industry. So everybody, you're forced by Live Nation to just bow to whatever they tell you to do. And that's the only way you stay in the industry. And that's why it's wiped out the independents. And they bought them or acquired all. Wiped out artist development, and it's killed the whole entire club scene. Because who sacrifices the most? The fans.
Yeah.
The prices. Look at the prices to go to a concert.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you compare that to now, it's not inflation. It's Live Nation inflation, made up inflation. And the fans can't afford to go to clubs. If you pay $1,000 or $2,000 a ticket, you went to clubs back in the day, probably a lot like me. I did 7 days a week. Plenty of people did. They can't afford to go out after paying that.
Yeah, no. Back in the day, it was $10 to get in or something, or if you had a cute outfit on, you get in for free or something. So yeah, it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't even know how much it costs, because like they have 11 in Miami now. I know that's a huge thing that's happening, But I think it's like you gotta get table service and bottle service, and you're gonna probably just drop a couple $1,000 just to sit down.
Yeah, well, before when there were so many independent promoters, you had so many clubs. You
Yeah.
had so many venues. So
Yes.
you could pick and choose where you go.
Yeah.
Just like back in the day with concerts, you could pick and choose where you go,
Yeah.
pick and choose how much you pay. The artist can pick and choose who they play for, who has better production,
Yeah.
who has better cost. Now, there's only just one company that you can pick and choose from, and that's Live Nation. There's no entertainment industry anymore. It's a Live Nation entertainment industry. That's it.
I mean, they only almost sound like the mafia in a way where they've, like, completely, just taken over the whole entire space.
Yeah, I dealt with the mafia. I fended the mafia off over 15 years and coming out in New Jersey. Um, and you know, the mob let me do business though, I'll tell you that. Way better than a Live Nation.
Yeah.
But mob run communities, you know, it's a bad thing, obviously. But at least with the mob, there was 5 families out of New Jersey, New York, so they competed at least.
Yeah.
And you could get away. You said, "Hey, I want to move to Idaho and
Yeah.
open my bodega there." You know,
Yeah.
they won't come after me there. Well, you can't get away if you're an independent promoter, if you're an artist or a fan.
Yeah.
Live Nation doesn't discriminate. They will rip a fan off. One thing they don't do is they don't discriminate. They don't care if you're straight. They don't care if you're gay. They don't care if you're Israeli. They don't care if you're Muslim. They do one thing,
Yeah.
is they don't discriminate. They rip everybody off.
Wow. So, did you take this to Congress, or did you take this to the DOJ, and tell me about that?
So I had an expert report, which I just spoke to you about, this rebate scheme that I allege Live Nation is running in the billions of dollars and causing tickets to be 30 to 40% higher, which can change in a day if my evidence exposed in court. Live Nation, their attorney, they have a lot of money and a lot of power.
Yeah.
Their attorneys got my expert report kicked out of court on a technicality because we don't have the resources to battle these technicalities. However, the Live Nation attorney made the biggest mistake. Well, biggest law oopsie ever.
Yeah.
They accidentally put it on the court public website, Pacer. We didn't even know. But the late Congressman Bill Pascrell out of New Jersey, he was really battled Live Nation and Ticketmaster. I didn't know this, but all the way back since like 2010, his team found the expert report on there, and they sent it to the Department of Justice, the Senate subcommittees to investigate, and the FTC in a massive press release, which kind of got my thing going viral. Unfortunately, the congressman had passed away time after this, but I do appreciate the support that he helped with that.
Yeah. I mean, how has all this I mean, it must be like you had not just the money that you've lost and how, the lifestyle and stuff, but just from an emotional standpoint, this must be like devastating. Like you worked for this, you had these ideas that were fresh ideas and stuff. You're working, like you said, with house music, EDM music that no one knew about. You were trying to make it probably go more mainstream and stuff. So, I mean, how do you emotionally deal with that? It seems like it would just kill me, if I put all my life effort into this and then you have a company that comes and just destroys everything that you've done. Like, how is that making you feel?
Well, back 15 years ago, I tell you something, I was really depressed. And
Yeah.
I was at the time nominated as the #1 promoter in New Jersey by the New Jersey Star Ledger, which is the largest publication out of New Jersey and the largest state publication in the nation. And Live Nation got my name removed. I'll prove it at trial. After this happened, to teach a lesson. And after being wiped out, I went from, drinking champagne with chilling with Snoop Dogg, all these big artists, running everything, to going homeless. I lost it all. I had to go get a job I never had a job in my life. I ran my own business since I was 16 years old. I had to get a job going door to door selling cable. And I built a door to door company selling cable successfully now that I've been able to fund the litigation doing so for 15 years. So it was very tough at first, But then over time, it's grown. It was really about me at first. Like
Mhm.
I wanted my festival back. I
Yeah.
wanted my career. I want my passion, my dream back. I want this back, and I want money. I don't really care about the money, but I figured I had the top executives tape recorded I have. I thought that was naive. I thought they were going to come up with these tape recordings, them confessing. I thought they were going to come apologize, give me my
Yeah.
festival back, say, here's some
Yeah.
money, get on your feet, and here you go. Nah, it didn't work that way. But over time, after seeing all Live Nation's, so it was rough. I'm gonna lie. But over time, after seeing all Live Nation's internal documents and information, it was just so disgusting. It's so bad what they do to the fans, what they do to indie promoters, what they
Yeah.
do to the artists, and in the scene I love. So this has become a much bigger thing than myself, and it's really about really for the fans at this point in time that I continue battling.
So you have an upcoming court case, right, in federal court, and it's a Department of Justice anti-case, and it's set for 2026 and 2026. And is that kind of like what's going to decide how this is going to end for you?
Well, uniquely, as you asked about that expert report, when after that expert report was put out by the late Congressman Pascal, the Department of Justice filed litigation with a month later, which
Wow.
was awesome. So that's the Department of Justice case. My case has been going on for 15 years. I'm just waiting a jury date. I had a firm trial date. I think it was like last year even, but Live Nation asked the court for another 15th mediation after I didn't want
Wow.
their money. I just want a jury trial. So that respect to court, had to accept it. But it's been 15 years. They're really good at delaying, and confusing. And they're winning there because my witnesses are getting old. And before the last year, you didn't hear a peep out of me. I only started speaking because you talked about the age of some of these DJs.
Yeah.
And if you come from the club world, I'm a pretty good health. You're looking good, but a lot of people partied a lot,
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
some of these guys, they were in their 60s when this happened. Some of my witnesses, they're getting older. I saw the late Congressman Pascal, that was my supporter, unfortunately passed. And I said, you know what? Like, my witnesses are getting old. I need a trial date. That's why I decided that this needs to get out there to the public. And this is why I started speaking publicly.
So if you go and you have this trial, let's hope in the coming year that you get to do this and you win it. What do you think is going to happen? What's the hope that these artists and the fans and even other promoters like that should give them so much more freedom and be able to actually do what they want to do without having Live Nation. Is that what you're hopeful for?
Absolutely. When I get the trial, I will have a trial. But if I get the trial and Your Honor, the judge allows all my evidence to be admitted that
Yeah.
Live Nation's trying to wipe out, this is in a trial. The only way I'll lose a trial is, unfortunately, my witnesses aren't there because
Yeah.
of age. Otherwise, I'll win 1,000%. And my hope is, and I know, if this information is to be exposed publicly, which Live Nation doesn't want, what I allege is their legal rebate scheme that creates these high inflated tickets, kills the independent promoters.
Yeah.
I've seen this stuff I look at thousands of shows, information, seeing, and you see Live Nation, the promoters are like dying, like, dude, they got to pay Live Nation 50 grand, 70 grand. The artists got to pay like 30 grand for a show.
Yeah.
And Live Nation's on the back end, high five, making $400,000 with this, I allege, as the legal rebate scheme. So I believe this can change the whole entire industry. And my hope is that independent promoters can thrive again. I'm out of this game, This is for like my kids, other people's kids.
Yeah.
I got a kid that wants to be a promoter now. I was like, nah, like people told you dad go to college. I didn't, but you're going to college unless Live Nation gets taken out from your dad or the Department of Justice.
So tell me what advice you would kind of give like these younger people that want to be a promoter or a DJ or do one of these festivals. Like, should they just avoid it at this point until you can kind of get this case out there more?
Yeah, I'd recommend you avoid it. And I would just give you this advice. If you want to do it, look, you got a passion, you want to do something, just realize at this point, unless something happens in my case, the Department of Justice case, you will be in Live Nation's captivity. You will bow to the ring of their CEO. You will do what they say when they tell you to say it. And that's your only chance. If you're up to that and that's what you want, and it's going to be really hard because artist development's been killed and destroyed by this company, independents have been killed. If you want that and them to make the majority of the money and you to make peanuts, I'll never tell somebody not to do their dream. But
Yeah.
I would warn against that. Hey, this is how it is.
What so, I mean, like house music was everything for whenever I was, growing up. So what kind of music would you like to see this next generation kind of inherit from back in our day? Was there anything that you would like to have? I mean, would you love to see? And the funny thing is on TikTok, there's a lot of these house music songs that people are like now and putting into their TikTok videos. And I'm like, that's the song back from 1997. Like that's so crazy. So
I've
there,
seen that too.
yeah, it's kind of coming back a little bit. But would you want this new generation to kind of bring back that sound again?
Well, look, what I want is independent promoters to exist. There
Yeah,
isn't any. And in 3, 4 years, Live Nation says there will be none. If these independent promoters are out there, people get creative.
yeah,
You get creative in music. You get creative in these awesome theme parties I created and you've
yeah,
been to. You know what? And then the music gets creative. You build talent. You build these DJs. You build artists. And the development of artist development has been destroyed. And you know what? The music, I can't tell you where to be then, but I can tell you something. If you put all these independent promoters out there, their creativity, people are creative, artists are creative, and you let this talent be exposed, and you let these promoters put them in, all the clubs that are closed, get clubs opening again,
yeah,
more choices. You know what? I'm sure it'll be an awesome music and awesome scene because people and music is life,
yeah,
and people want it, and people want to. Right now it's just been wiped out. But
yeah,
so I can't say the music. Yeah, like I could say house music. Let's
yeah.
go. But you know what? I think it'll be really cool, and I think it'll be amazing. But if you leave it to just one company, one mafia, one monopoly, it's going to be dictated what they want you to hear. You're going to hear what you, and it's not what you necessarily want the music to be. That's what it's going to be, and that's
Yeah.
what you're going to like because you got no choice.
Kind of looking back at everything, from New York clubs to Jersey, to the federal court, what are you most proud of yourself about surviving? Like, what did you survive that you're like, God, I mean, obviously I mean, starting, like you said, your own kind of door to door cable, that's pretty amazing. But like you've survived a lot in the last 20 years. What are you most proud of?
Um, I think the most thing one of the most things I'm proud about that I never really discussed the recent times because I always looked at it as a weakness. And through 15 years in the club industry, and nobody even knew. Right when I started in the club industry, I was a victim of a massive assault at a house party that wasn't mine. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Someone ran up from behind and smashed me with a gallon of vodka from 50 feet behind, fractured my skull. I had brain surgery. They told me, the doctors, I was 80% blind. They told me that I would never be able to be anything. I'd be permanently disabled.
Wow.
I went to a rehabilitation center for maybe 6 months, and I was like, yeah, you ain't gonna hold me back. I left, and I promoted that first successful party in 97 within 6 months without people knowing this.
Wow.
So I guess I was, and people always tell me, I guess one thing I was proud of was being told by everyone, you'll never be able to build a club empire. You can't do this. And you know what? I worked really hard. I worked 20 hours a day. I want to give that to anybody advice out there. If you want to get in this industry,
Yeah.
do 20 hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you want to be successful. That's without Live Nation. With
Yeah.
Live Nation, you need more hours in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I'm proud that the dream I had was to build myself to the top and get as large as I can get. And I'm glad that I take some pride in that me and my team worked really hard and were able to achieve that.
Yeah, you should also look back and just think about how much joy and fun and memories that you made for people doing these shows back in the days. I mean, it's amazing. Like you probably made so many, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people so happy over the years. You should really think about that too sometimes. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice. A lot of people hit me up on socials all the time out of the blue,
yeah,
and they're like, "Yo, I remember this event.
yeah,
Wow, I remember this event in Miami. Do you remember this, this, this?" Some of them I remember, some I don't. But
yeah,
there's so many of them, But it that is really cool. It's something I enjoy. It was really cool to be help build that scene and help build that industry. And I hope others have a chance to do so, and fans have a chance to, go to these cool parties and cool events and not being ripped off every day like it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I just, again, if I could just go back for a week back in the 90s and do that just for a week, I would love it. I mean, I'd probably wouldn't make it to 5 a.m. like I used to and go to after hours, but I would try my hardest. So.
Yeah, well, sometimes we were just getting started at 5 a.m. at the
Yeah,
Sound Factory. We were
exactly.
going 24 hours. But you know what? You get Live Nation out of the picture. You get creative promoters. Maybe me and you will make it past the 5 a.m. now, but you get the creative promoters. That's just creativity. People
Yeah.
working hard in creativity and artists and development. You get
Yeah.
that, the scene will thrive again.
Yeah.
The scene will thrive again. But
Yeah.
people can't afford it when you pay $1,000 a ticket.
Yeah.
How can you go out if you had to pay $1,000 to go to a show? Could you go out 7 days a week back
No,
then?
I could have back then. I could have went out, going out maybe once every 2 months at $1,000 a show. So it would
Well,
not.
Your answer right there is why most of the club scene, if there's one club in one night, and it's not how it used to be. And it's thanks to Live Nation.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'll put this website in the description of the podcast, but it's TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com. Go and check it out and look to see what this is all about and look into it a little bit more. And Tommy, whenever you have your court date, which I really hope that you have it in early 2026, please come back and tell us how it what happened. And I hope that you walk away from that super satisfied and that there's no more delays. And I hope you get this through in this coming year. I really do. So.
Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And my satisfaction will go in to win at trial, and for then fans to be paying lower ticket prices.
Yeah.
They're really the biggest victims, and the independents and the artists, like I said, to thrive. And it was really nice. I had a court hearing just a few weeks ago, and it was pretty cool. It was like 100 supporters that actually showed up at the court. Justice for Tommy D, lower ticket prices. And you know what? I'm doing this for the fans now, and it inspired me more to I'm not throwing a towel, I ain't quitting, but it inspired me more to be like, I'm going all the way. So
that's awesome. Do you put whenever you have a court date or something on your website, so if people want to come and support, they could?
Yeah, now I am.
Yeah, do that. I mean, I think I seen something about people showing up for you. There was something on social media about it, or that's awesome. I love it that people are supporting you and stuff, and you deserve to win. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the court documents, obviously, but everything you're saying makes total sense. And so I hope that you get your day of justice.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, Tommy, you've been great. Again, it's TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com. You can check the description of the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do, and leave a comment and tell us what you thought about the interview with Tommy. Thanks for being on, Tommy, and we will keep a lookout for you and give you our good vibes for your court date.
Thanks again, and thank your audience as well.
Thanks, Tommy. Nice talking with you.